So Volume 14 of Berserk. Yeah. This is awesome. Probably one of the most badass volumes we got in terms of, like, what exactly goes down on here. It's a really great volume. It's a really awesome volume. But the beginning portions of this volume are probably one of the most depressing shit that you will come across when it comes to Berserk. I mean, it wasn't as bad as to what goes down in the clips, but since these are the events that followed after the eclipse, like, just seeing what goes down is just adds on to the cycle of pain for Guts. It really does. And what am I talking about? Well, it turns out that Casca, when the Skull Knights and Guts actually reach the hilltop, they see that Casca is gathered around by the spirits. The spirits aren't harming her, however, so that's kind of strange. But then we see why. Because she was pregnant. However, the spirits can still harm a pregnant person. However, the reason why they weren't harming her was because she gave spawn to a fetus that was corrupted by evil. AKA, Griffith actually corrupted Guts' child. Dang. Like, that was some, like, I just see Casca, like, on her knees, and then that little thing comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what's going on? Oh. Fuck. Like, Jesus, man. Like, it's so fucked up. Excuse my language, but it is fucked up. Like, and this is Guts' child. I mean, I knew that Guts and Casca were going to have a child. It was pretty predictable that it was going to happen, you know, because Casca, you know, when Guts and Casca first had sex, you know, Casca told Guts, give me a wound that we can call our own, and that was pretty much hinting at a child. However, knowing that she was pregnant during the time of the eclipse, and Griffith actually corrupted their child and turned it into a cursed child, to where this child is now going to haunt them for the entirety of their lives until, you know, Guts ends up putting a stop to this. Like, it's just so messed up. It's messed up. Not fun. Not fun at all for Guts and Casca. That's sad. That's sad. Oh, and you know, when it comes to when Casca ended up, you know, basically bringing out the fetus, like, I don't know about you guys, but this thing was very small. Very small. And then all of a sudden, Casca holds the fetus within her arms, and it's like yay big, the size of a child. Like, it automatically grew, you know, in a few minutes. Like, that was kind of creepy as well when it comes, like, this scene was just unsettling. Also, in this volume, we get to see how Guts ended up getting his artificial arm that shoots a hand cannon out, which is pretty badass. Ricket ended up making it for him, which was awesome as well. And also, we find out how Guts ended up getting the Dragonslayer sword, which is pretty awesome as well. Apparently, it was made by a blacksmith named Godo, and he made this sword specifically in order to kill off dragons, in order to slay them. And the thing is about this sword that nobody was able to wield it until now, of course, when Guts freaking just picks this sword up and starts swinging it like a madman, like a toy, you know, like nothing. You know, he is strong as fuck, and he's just swinging it left and right at this demon that appears at Godo's front door, and completely just destroys the demon. Completely. Also, by the end of that scene where he takes down the demon, he finally steps on his way to go about on his journey to get his revenge on Griffith. He leaves Casca, Ricket, Elizabeth, and Godo, who are hiding up in the mountains. It seems that Ricket is going to take care of Casca for the time being, and Then we have it to where there's this page right here where basically Guts is now going on his journey to hunt down Griffith, and he is staring into the abyss. Like, I love this page right here. This darkness that is surrounding him right here, this is him leaping into the abyss, because he knows that he is going to be shrouded in darkness, and he's going to be fighting in the darkness, which is why Guts ends up putting on a black cape to basically conceal himself in the darkness, because this is where he is going to be fighting at, because all the demons are concealed within the darkness. They only appear during the night, and that is when, you know, Guts is going to be fighting the most. So I really like the symbolism here where we have Guts, you know, basically diving into the abyss right here. Like, I think the artwork on this page is just beautiful. Now, there's also another scene with Guts where we see him, you know, basically just acting rash, basically acting like a monster in a way. Let me see if I can find it. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Okay, right here. That is badass. This page is badass. Now, you know, after the eclipse, it is pretty much noteworthy to say that this really affected Guts, obviously. It really traumatized him. I mean, he lost his friends. His very best friend, who he thought was his best friend, Griffith. You know, he lost his family, the Band of the Hawk. You know, he finally had a place of his own to where he could actually, you know, feel accepted by others. He lost them. He lost his lover momentarily, it seems, because now his lover, Casca, doesn't know who exactly he is. You know, she is afraid of him. She doesn't know how to, you know, she's basically like a child. You know, Casca is broken at this point. She has reverted, you know, her nature back to a child. Like, that is how it was described within this volume of Berserk. And he also lost his eye. He lost his arm. You know, he pretty much lost everything that he, you know, cared about. And, you know, this is really going to traumatize Guts. And just by this picture right here, you know, this is where we start to see a change in Guts as a whole, because it seems that, you know, he is slowly descending into madness himself, like Griffith in a way. Like, Guts is literally becoming a monster, because there's actually a couple of scenes within this volume of Berserk where it seems that, you know, Guts is actually using methods that we normally wouldn't see him use. Like, there was one scene where he eventually arrives in the town that is scared of the elves, or the fairies, I should say. You know, the elves. He arrives in this town, and he ends up necessarily keeping this boy alive by having him hang on his greatsword. So as he's like playing decoy, the boy is, you know, these elves are swarming after him. It's just so weird, the methods that Guts ends up using. And this is like 2 years after the event where he ends up leaving Casca, Ricket, and pretty much everybody else. Now, there's one specific scene that was very interesting to me. We have it to where we see these knights right here end up stumbling across a Red Sea, so to speak. And now these characters, there's actually 3 characters that really caught my eye, because these are actually characters within the Conviction arc that will make an appearance in the 2016 anime adaptation of Berserk, the one that's coming out in the summer, which is pretty interesting. Now, they stumble across a Red Sea, and one of the knights ends up saying, unmistakenly, as prophesied, the Red Lake has appeared. And what they stumble across is pretty much leftovers of the eclipse. Leftovers of the Band of the Hawk from the eclipse. I'm not going to show you this here because there's a lot of gore and whatnot, but I was like, what? So we have it to where knights, the Holy See, I think they are called, they know about this. They know about this for some odd reason, because let me just read you some of the other dialogue. No mistake, it certainly is the Red Sea as the prophecy foretold. Do you think that someone like this would really appear? Or something like this would really appear? Oh dear Lord, the revelations say that when the sun dies, 5 times, a red lake will appear to the west of the city with a name both new and old. It is proof that the 5th angel will alight. What we know is that Griffith is that 5th angel. However, they say angel. We would consider him a demon, to be honest. But anyway, the angel is the Hawk of Darkness. Band of the Hawk. Griffith led the Band of the Hawk. He was known as the White Hawk. The master of the sinful black sheep, the king of the blind white sheep, shall call down upon the world of an age of darkness. So, I think this is a little hint that Kentaro Miura, since this is taking place in medieval European times, I'm assuming that this is going to be the beginning of the Dark Ages. So this is very interesting. I really want to see what these knights really know about when it comes to this prophecy, because it seems like they know quite a bit about this. So yeah, I really want to see more from them, see what they're all about, and if Guts is ever gonna, stumble across them and actually, discuss, things that have happened to him in the past with Griffith, So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that when it comes to the rest of the volumes of Berserk, and then pretty much the rest of the volume is just build up to, I guess, what is called the Misty Valley Elf arc or something like that, where Guts ends up saving a girl, and the village is scared of fairies in general, and the reason for this is because all these elves are technically attacking their livestock and have killed various people in the past, it seems, as well. And come to find out that I guess one of the elves was actually one of Rosalina's friends, which is the little girl. Apparently, there is actually a human that ended up becoming a elf herself. Now, this is kind of suspicious, because usually with all this paranormal stuff, you would think that a Behelit would probably, be the cause of all of this. So we'll just have to wait and see in Volume 15 of Berserk. But what I will say is that this was a great build-up to Berserk. A really, really great build-up to what the next volume is going to lead into, probably the conclusion of the Misty Valley Elf arc, But this was a very good build-up. This was technically a build-up volume to what's going to happen later down the line, and also we got a little extra chapter within this volume as well called Berserk, the Prototype, which is basically Kentaro Miura's one-shot of Berserk before Berserk came to be what it is today, and that is just awesome in my personal opinion. And there is a girl within the Prototype of Berserk who resembles Griffith quite a bit. They have the same hairstyle and whatnot, so it makes me want to believe that this girl was technically the foundation of Griffith before, so it was really interesting to see, like the art style, like we get to see Puck there. It was really interesting what Guts sort of looked like. Let me see if I can, right here, where he's all gathered up within his gear right there. You can definitely tell that Guts, while there are similarities compared to the final product of Berserk, Guts looked a little different. He had like an eye patch and whatnot, and I guess he also had the brand of sacrifice on his chest. So yeah, there's quite a few differences with the Prototype of Berserk, but yeah, definitely a good volume. This was definitely a good read, and I cannot wait to check out the other volumes of Berserk. I'm actually currently reading Volume 15 right now, so I should be able to end up putting out a review relatively soon on Volume 15 of Berserk. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Volume 14 of Berserk. How did you feel about it? What did you think was the best thing that, you have seen out of this volume? And also, what did you think about my review? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to stick up to date to my future content on this channel and possibly see more Berserk content from me, and I am definitely going to be reviewing the anime series of Berserk that is going to air in the the summer, so definitely stay tuned for that. So yeah, if you really want to see more reviews of Berserk related content on my channel, please hit that red subscribe button below, and you will never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.